Should you have more than one Etsy shop? What does my strategy call entail? Are you getting lots of clicks but no sales? What could be the problem? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dylan Jarris and I'm an Etsy seller of about 7 years. I've sold $1.5 million in revenue on this platform, over $1 million in profit, and my entire background is corporate e-commerce. So I worked for big companies like Zappos and Zulily on the buying, planning, forecasting, pricing side of things. And now I teach Etsy sellers just like you how to scale their businesses to that multi-six-figure level with my program and my coaching. So I recently asked on Instagram if anyone had any questions for a Q&A. So today we're going to dive into it. So I'm going to go right in order here. So question number 1, how do you ask your customers to leave a review? Is it even okay to ask? So my strategy here with customer service is to not blatantly ask them to leave a review, but it's really to make the experience so great, so fantastic that they're asking me, how can I leave a review? So that's really my angle that I recommend taking. But there are things you can do post-sale, whether it be a message, if it's a digital product or print on demand, or a little physical branded thank you note in a package that you've actually shipped yourself. And with that, I might say something like, if you were happy with the results, a rating or review would be so helpful. And I might put like a little 5 stars or something just as a hint, right? Like wink, wink, you can leave a review if you want to. I try to make the experience just so wonderful and try to exceed their expectations so that they're then asking me, how do I leave a review? Okay, which SEO tools are the best? So I actually don't believe that you need to be using any paid tools. All you really need is Etsy. But then in my program, I teach how we can supplement with the free version of eRank. So Etsy and the free version of eRank, I mean, that's really all you need. Okay, this is interesting. What do you do to regroup when you feel burnt out or exhausted? So I will try to make it a goal to get to bed a little bit earlier, like get an extra hour and a half of sleep. And then I'll also do things like look at a devotional on my phone. I get these daily devotionals from Jesus Calling. I'll listen to sermons from my favorite church, Central Christian Church in Las Vegas. Judd Wilhite, he always has great messages that are really uplifting. I will also listen to things from different business mentors that I have, like Alex Hormozy. He's really inspiring to me. And then, on a practical level, I also will do something like, look at my schedule, look at what's on my list, and I will really only focus on things that I have to do or things that really move the needle. And I will save the busy work for something else. Maybe I'll also text the cleaning lady and get her on the books, right? Something like that. And I've also gotten really good at saying no to anything that is just going to kind of suck the life out of you even more. That also will help me kind of regroup and get back on track. All right, I opened a shop in October, but haven't listed anything yet. Should I close it down or start listing now several months later? Does it matter that I opened the shop months ago? Will it affect anything? If you have no sales and no reviews, I would definitely open a new shop. Etsy does give you a boost when you open a new shop, so I would not use that one from October as long as you have no sales. Someone says, I'm just starting on Etsy and I have mostly small to medium crochet items. I'm contemplating the idea of introducing large items like clothing. It takes a long time to make an item. Is it worth getting into? Everyone looks at my work and thinks it's amazing, but very few realize how many hours it takes or are ready to pay the price. So with that, with something that's very time intensive, I would go ahead and look at, okay, what could you offer with your skill set in that kind of higher price point clothing item that might not be fully crocheted? What could you perhaps alter, right? Like what types of items could you buy and then alter with your crochet work? Could you buy like a denim jacket and then add on some crochet applique details or something? I would say if you want to get into higher average order value items, I would be really careful about doing things that take many, many hours of your time. If something takes more than 2.5, 3 hours of your time, it might be difficult to sell with a nice high sell-through. So I would look at what you could do that's still with crocheted, but potentially more altered items. So you buy things that are almost done, almost completed, and then you alter it in some way. Do you plan to teach how to scale your e-com brand with Shopify and Amazon, or is it already in your Etsy course? So I do cover how to go on to Shopify, yes. And with the coaching part, I will help you with Amazon. I will talk you through Amazon. Now, Amazon is a beast. It's very, very different from Etsy and Shopify. There's more similarities with Etsy and Shopify than there are with Etsy and Amazon, but I can definitely help you with Amazon if you want to do that. You just have to be prepared with the capital ready to go to do something like Amazon. I wouldn't go into Amazon with low funds, that's for sure. But yeah, my program does go through Shopify as well. This is interesting. Do you give yourself a day off during the week? What do we think? No, I don't. Surprise, right? No, I don't give myself a day off. Now, if I wanted a day off, I would take one off. But really at this point, I have the luxury of spending my time how I want to spend it. I actually don't want to take a day off in this season of growth for my business. I also offer my students daily 24/7 coaching for 6 months. So they have access to me daily 24/7. No, I'm not up at 3 a.m. messaging them, right? But I do always get back to them within 24 hours, including the weekend. So no, I don't take a day off, but I do spend my time exactly how I want to spend my time. And to me, that's really what financial freedom is about. It's about having the luxury of choosing how you spend your time. What does your strategy call entail? Okay, that's really interesting. So the strategy call, you guys might have seen the link below where you can book a call with us, right? Or on my Instagram, I put this link all over the place. You can book a call with us. And with that, you fill out just a little information if you have a shop or if you don't have a shop, just what your goals are for Etsy. And then we on my team will actually go over your shop if you have one, or if you don't have one, we'll talk about your goals and your background and talk a little bit about what Etsy could be like for you. Before we even talk to you, we are looking at your shop, we are looking at what your goals are, and we're seeing how we could potentially help you. I've already gone in and analyzed your business if you have booked a call with us. I do create a video internally for my team about your shop and my analysis of it. But on that call, it will either be with me or someone who I work closely with on my team, and we will go over your shop. We'll ask you some more about your goals, what you are looking to do with your shop, how big you're looking to grow things, what you're struggling with, and then we'll share more about the program, Multi-Six-Figure Etsy Blueprint, and also the coaching to see if that could be something that could help you. Okay, this is interesting. I am a visual artist who paints large oil and acrylics on canvas. How saturated is this niche? According to the numbers, this niche is so saturated, as is all other niches on Etsy. Any advice, please? Well, with this, I would ask, what are you painting? Sure, I mean, there's areas of this that are saturated, but I'm sure there's areas of this that are not saturated either. What is the subject of your artwork and what is the aesthetic? Is it something that works well on Etsy? Is it something that's highly saturated, or is this something where you found a hole in the market for what designs are out there and what you could offer? You can absolutely break into Etsy with creating products like this. It just depends on who your customer is and how well your product meets their needs. So just like something like t-shirts or sweatshirts, right? You could say, oh, that's totally saturated on Etsy. Well, in some areas, some categories, yes, it is. They're overserved, but some customers are underserved. So it's really about identifying which areas are underserved and where you can fit into that. Okay, someone says, is there a way to have more than one Etsy shop? Yes, absolutely. You can. A lot of my students have more than one, and I used to have more than one. Okay, this is interesting. Can you create a premium brand with print-on-demand products for a premium customer? If so, are there any products you should avoid adding to your shop, like t-shirts, stickers, etc.? Also, for a premium brand, do you recommend focusing more on evergreen-themed products versus seasonal holiday products like Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, etc.? So I am a huge proponent of building more evergreen, consistent, year-round business. So yes, unless you are an established shop with really, really good consistency built into your business, then I probably would not be just chasing holidays. I think it's really important to build up some evergreen listings that sell consistently for you year-round before you have the holiday chasing strategy as, a big part of your business. If all you do is chase holidays, then you're going to be constantly chasing, and you're not going to end up with any listings that really build momentum for you year-round. So I would probably focus on more evergreen listings if I were you. And then in terms of the actual print-on-demand products, so it doesn't mean that just because something is a sticker or a t-shirt that you can't sell it to a premium customer. So I wouldn't focus so much on the product as maybe the person who is buying the product. There are tons of premium, profitable customers who are paying for stickers and t-shirts, but not everyone who's buying a t-shirt is going to be profitable. Not everyone who buys a sticker is going to be profitable. I would really think about who you're selling to and who that design is for. What aesthetic are they drawn to? Are they more timeless? Are they more trendy? Like, are these stickers that look like they could be found in like an Anthropologie stationery section? Are these t-shirts that look like they could be found at, Urban Outfitters next to t-shirts that are selling for like $50+? I wouldn't rule out a product like a t-shirt or a sticker as not being for profitable customers. I would just take a look at who you're actually selling to and make sure that what you have aligns with what they want. Okay, here's a question. The number one strategy to implement when you see your monthly planning and forecasting isn't working. So planning and forecasting isn't necessarily the strategy. Like, there are strategies to put in place that ensure that you are hitting your plan and that you're hitting your forecast, but I wouldn't call planning and forecasting the strategy itself. So I would be taking a look at your pricing strategy. I would take a look at your margin. I would take a look at your product mix and see how you fit into the competitive landscape, where your traffic is coming from, see where there's maybe some room there if you're not hitting your plan. And if you have questions, definitely reach out. That's everything I did in corporate corporate world before I did Etsy. I started Etsy. I'm selling digital templates for weddings and certificates. I have 0 sales. Help, please. Okay. I mean, are you getting traffic? Is your SEO in place? Are you doing anything to drive traffic? Is your product actually good? Does it look better than all the competitors? Compare your product to the market leader for those same long tail keywords. Are you actually better? And is your pricing better? Right now, it sounds like it should be if you have 0 sales. Those are some things I would take a look at initially. Are there any downsides of putting a 24-hour sale on your Etsy listings every day? So there could be, it could be something where, your customers are constantly seeing that you're going on sale. So then they might not want to buy when you're not on sale. So if you're not careful, if you abuse that too much, then you might really hurt yourself when you have things at full price. What is your shipping terms for your products? So I like the idea of having a long ship window, like 1 to 10 business days, because then they see there's a chance that it could arrive earlier. And I like to use USPS, FedEx, UPS. I'm in the US, so that is what I use. If I need to buy UPS labels, I just buy them through Shopify since I have a Shopify store as well. Etsy or Shopify? Great question. Hands down, Etsy first, then Shopify. So I really am a proponent of building up Etsy to do at least, 70 to 80,000 in revenue before you look at focusing on building up Shopify. Because what we can do here is actually leverage Etsy for their customers so that when you do have a website, when you're on Shopify, you don't have a problem with traffic and you're not forced to rely on ads in order to get that traffic. So I give you this process in my program. Actually, it's how we funnel the customers from Etsy to your website so you never have to pay for ads. And about 90% of my sales on my website come from people who come over from Etsy. So Etsy is like the cheapest traffic you will find out there, the Etsy customers. They bring in really profitable customers. So I would focus first on Etsy, then move on to Shopify. When a listing renews, does it go to the bottom of the pile? It technically would be going to the top of the pile. Yeah, when a listing renews, it would be, renewed most recently. So if you sort your shop homepage by most recent, it'll actually show those recently renewed listings at the top, even if they didn't sell. If my sales have gone way down in the last month, should I change my SEO on all? Or I would not just go crazy on changing your SEO. You don't want to change your SEO unless it's not working for you. So we always look at the data before we change SEO. We don't want to just blindly change it. We always want to look at our listing stats to make sure we leave in the good SEO and only replace what's not working for you. How quickly will updating SEO boost traffic? How long to wait before trying different terms? Okay, I would wait at least like 3 to 4 weeks. I would not be touching your SEO any sooner than that. I really like the idea of waiting 30 to 45 days at least, especially if there's any seasonality to your items. You do not want to be, swinging the pendulum, stopping and starting and stopping and starting with new SEO. Otherwise, you're not going to get anywhere and you're not going to give anything the opportunity to build momentum and to pick up traction. So if you change things too soon, you might be changing something that if you had only left it for another 2 weeks, it would have worked really well for you. I say, at least like 4 weeks probably. I would probably go even longer than that. All right, what is the Facebook strategy? So the Facebook strategy is something that I have in my program. It's extremely powerful. It's in module 4. And this is how some of my students get 65% of their traffic. We had a student make over $1,000 in one evening with one post. It's a very powerful tool. So I do reserve the specifics of that for my program, but something to note, we're not running ads. We're not asking friends and family to click on things. It's a groups-based strategy. Okay, my sole reason to opening Etsy business is to get a bigger house for my family. What do you plan on, I'm guessing she meant doing? Yeah, so with Etsy, we really like to invest the Etsy cash flow into real estate. That is an asset that continues to grow in a more passive way. We are in markets that are, appreciating in a very strong way. So we're here in San Diego. There's always a demand for housing here with the military being such a strong presence. So we like to build up generational wealth through real estate with our Etsy cash flow. Can you resell your Etsy shop to others? No, you cannot. That is actually not legal. So I wouldn't recommend doing it. I've seen people do it and it doesn't usually end well for either party. So I don't recommend it. Do you use AI for anything in your business? And if so, how? So I have been playing around with AI. I do think that there needs to be a little bit of a human touch on what AI gives you after it gives it to you. So I've used it for things like copy. I've used it for things like, writing some descriptions, more so actually with YouTube than Etsy right now, just because I don't really need it for Etsy at this point. If I was creating a bunch of new Etsy listings, then maybe I would use AI for it. But I do use it sometimes as a framework for building out descriptions for things. But at this point, I shouldn't say I would never, but at this point, I don't solely rely on it and just basically put out whatever it gives me. I definitely put my own touch on it because really everyone has their own voice. And when you are building a brand, you want to make sure to protect your brand voice. I think it is helpful to put a human touch on it in order to keep that consistency in your branding. So I do think it definitely can save time, but I would not solely rely on this for everything. Okay, so this is all I could cover today. In the next video, I will cover the rest of the questions. If you like this video and you want more Q&As from me, please subscribe to the channel and feel free to put questions below in the comments if you want me to use them for a future Q&A. If you're interested in my help, you can always find me on Instagram at Dylan Jarvis or just email me team@dylanjarvis.com and I can share more about how I could help you transform your business. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video.